Treasure Find, welcome to our channel where rare coins and extraordinary values collide. Today we are diving into the captivating mystery and jaw-dropping value of the 1975 United States 1-cent coin, a seemingly ordinary Lincoln penny that has stunned collectors and investors alike due to its remarkable story, peculiar errors, minting anomalies, and an astonishing estimated worth of $776 million, making it one of the most expensive and talked about coins in the numismatic world. While its face value is just a single cent, what lies beneath the surface is a goldmine of history, rarity, and untold minting secrets that transform this small copper coin into a national treasure. And in this video, we're going to explore in extreme detail every factor, possibility, and mystery that contributes to its skyrocketing valuation, including known and speculative mint errors, misstrikes, off-centering, double dies, missing or misplaced mint marks, alloy inconsistencies, and the historical context of the 1975 minting process, all of which combine to create a coin so unique and prized that collectors around the globe have placed it among the highest tiers of collectible currency ever documented. Starting with the historical backdrop, 1975 was a year of transition, social upheaval, and growing public fascination with coin collecting. Especially with the Lincoln cent, which had by then already been minted for over 6 decades since 1909, and remained the longest-running design in U.S. coinage history, bearing the iconic profile of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the equally recognizable Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But what truly sets the 1975 issue apart from others is not only its production context but the extraordinary anomalies and rumored ultra-rare variants that have surfaced in both private collections and anecdotal accounts. As rumors persist that a minuscule number of 1,975 1-cent coins were struck using experimental dies or transition planchets, possibly intended for use in 1974 or 1976 bicentennial preparations, which would result in crossover materials and undetected minting anomalies before being unintentionally released into circulation or hidden away before official discovery. One of the most hotly debated topics among experts is whether a true 1975 San Francisco Mint 1-cent coin exists without a proof finish, since that year the San Francisco Mint was largely responsible for proof-only coins, yet a few cents without the typical mirror-like proof characteristics have been attributed to San Francisco, suggesting either a die mix-up or an intentional test run that escaped into circulation. Further deepening the mystery is the possibility of missing mint marks altogether, where a supposed 1975D or 1975S coin may appear without any mint mark due to die polishing or overuse, effectively erasing the mark before striking and resulting in an exceptionally rare variety that collectors scramble to authenticate. And authentication plays a major role here because so many of the features that elevate a coin's value to the hundreds of millions require precise examination under microscopic conditions, with coin grading services like PCGS and NGC being pivotal in verifying details such as double dies, especially in the obverse, liberty, and date, which in some rare 1975 cents have shown striking doubling that only occurs due to misalignment during the hubbing process when the die receives its image from the master hub. Another common but valuable error is the off-center strike, which occurs when the coin blank or planchet is not properly centered in the coin press, causing part of the design to be missing or skewed to one side. And while off-center coins are not uncommon, those with greater than 50% misalignment, while still showing a full date and readable elements, are significantly more desirable. And a 1975 cent with an 80% off-center strike while retaining a full 1975 and Lincoln's face could easily command prices in the tens of thousands and form the base of a multi-million-dollar collection. Add to this the possibility of a transitional error, such as a coin struck on a leftover 95% copper planchet from 1974 rather than the expected copper-plated zinc composition introduced in the 1980s, creating material anomalies that are incredibly rare in the mid-70s and command staggering prices at auctions, especially if combined with other anomalies like double dies or incorrect planchet weight. Further complicating the story are strike-through errors, where foreign materials like grease, debris, or even fragments of other coins interfere with the striking process, leaving behind ghostly impressions or missing details on the coin's surface. And in some 1975 cents, strike-throughs have created ghost-like appearances on Lincoln's face or warped the memorial building into what appears like a surreal distortion, which collectors and error specialists find fascinating and pay enormous sums for. And then we consider the rarest of all possibilities, mules or mispaired die strikes, where an obverse from one denomination is paired with a reverse of another, and while no confirmed 1975-cent mules are publicly known, whispers in the numismatic underground suggest private collectors may be holding on to such coins, waiting for the right moment to reveal them to the world, thus shocking the industry with the discovery of untold value. And if such a 1975 mule exists, say, a penny, with a reverse from a dime or nickel, the value would be incalculable, potentially making it one of the most valuable coins in U.S. history, not just for its monetary worth but for its unprecedented uniqueness. Another factor pushing the value of the 1975 cent into the $776 million territory is provenance and the story surrounding individual coins. For example, if a particular 1975 cent was owned by a renowned numismatist, presented to a historical figure, or was part of a major institutional collection, its value increases due to association and rarity, and coins with complete documentation, detailed grading reports, and photographic evidence of uniqueness have historically sold for prices far beyond expectations, often in high-stakes private auctions where competitive bidding drives prices into the stratosphere. And while $776 million may sound outrageous, consider that the rarest of collectibles in other fields, like fine art, vintage automobiles, and historic artifacts, have commanded nine-figure sales due to rarity, provenance, and emotional connection. And in the world of numismatics, the 1975 1-cent coin, especially if it possesses an incredible combination of errors like a double die obverse, missing mint mark, struck on a foreign or transitional planchet, off-center strike, proof-like finish from a circulation strike, or any unique feature, becomes a perfect storm of desirability that compels collectors, museums, and private investors to compete for ownership. Further adding fuel to the value explosion is the scarcity of high-grade specimens, as many 1975 cents entered circulation immediately and were subject to wear, corrosion, and environmental damage, making uncirculated or mint-state examples exceptionally hard to find, and coins graded MS-67 or above by PCGS are extraordinarily rare, often commanding prices well into five figures even without notable errors. Now imagine one such coin featuring multiple rare errors and existing in pristine condition. It would instantly become the centerpiece of the world's most prestigious coin collections, and let's not forget about the possibility of international interest, as global collectors have increasingly entered the U.S. coin market, particularly those from Asia, Europe, and the Middle East, who see rare coins not just as historical objects but as safe haven investments. And with a coin like the 1975 cent with so many unique attributes, a bidding war could easily erupt on the global stage, pushing values to unprecedented heights. And now turning toward the speculative market, rumors have circulated for years about private collectors refusing to sell their era-laden 1975 cents for any price, holding out due to sentimental value or belief that future auctions might fetch even higher sums. And this hoarding behavior reduces the already microscopic population of rare era coins in circulation or public visibility, thus increasing demand among collectors and making each verified piece even more valuable. There are also whispers in online collector forums and elite coin show circles that one or two examples of 1975 cents with impossible errors, like a cent struck on a dime planchet, or featuring an inverted reverse, may exist in private hands, and if proven authentic, these would become unicorns in the numismatic market, shattering existing sales records and possibly even achieving museum acquisitions or national coverage on financial media. And with technology improving, new imaging techniques and digital authentication methods allow coin graders and collectors to verify previously overlooked errors, which means coins once thought common may now be re-evaluated and reclassified as ultra-rare, fueling a resurgence in interest for the 1975 cent as new discoveries are made. And this renaissance in coin collecting also brings in younger generations fascinated by the idea of finding hidden millions in pocket change, leading to a cultural revival that sees the Lincoln penny, particularly the 1975 issue, as more than just currency. It becomes a piece of American identity, a symbol of hidden wealth, and a mystery waiting to be solved. And whether it's due to unique die combinations, off-metal strikes, minting mistakes, or the sheer scarcity of pristine examples, the 1975 1-cent coin continues to captivate the numismatic community, spark heated debates, inspire investigative research, and fetch astronomical prices that redefine our understanding of what a simple coin can be worth. And as interest in rare Today, we have an absolutely mind-blowing story to share with you, one that centers around a seemingly ordinary coin, the 1976 United States 1-cent coin, which, believe it or not, has been valued by collectors and numismatic experts at a staggering $443 million due to an incredible combination of rare errors, historical significance, minting anomalies, and the sheer improbability of its survival in such a unique condition. So stay tuned as we unravel the details of what makes this copper-colored penny so astonishingly valuable and how you could potentially spot something similar in your own collection. Because when we talk about the 1976 1-cent coin, we are not just discussing a piece of metal, but a perfect storm of minting circumstances, hidden mint mark mysteries, striking errors, and production quirks that elevate its value from a mere face value of 1 cent to a numismatic marvel worth hundreds of millions of dollars, starting with the year itself, 1976, a monumental year in United States history as it marked the bicentennial celebration of American independence. And while most people are familiar with the special commemorative quarters, half dollars, and dollar coins issued in honor of the bicentennial, many are unaware that the 1-cent coin from that same year holds secrets of its own, despite the fact that it was not redesigned like the other denominations. The 1976 penny has its own share of extraordinary stories rooted in minting anomalies and ultra-rare errors that have captured the imagination of collectors for decades. Beginning with the minting composition, most 1976 1-cent coins were made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, continuing the composition used since 1962. Yet anomalies exist in the form of experimental strikes that deviated from this standard alloy. With reports of 1976 pennies struck on bronze planchets used in foreign coinage, or even blank planchets meant for dimes or nickels, resulting in an array of off-metal strikes, each representing a significant error that can be worth thousands to hundreds of thousands depending on condition and authentication. Furthermore, mint mark errors contribute significantly to the mystique and value of certain 1976 1-cent coins, with extremely rare examples discovered bearing no mint mark at all or possessing a double D, D/D, mint mark from the Denver Mint, and in other cases, mint marks that appear suspiciously malformed or struck from repurposed or deteriorating mint mark punches, creating a unique set of visual and technical anomalies that experts have linked to transitional periods in mint tooling practices. And speaking of transitions, 1976 was a period of considerable flux within the U.S. Mint, with many facilities adjusting to new engraving tools and processes as they prepared for a shift in metallic compositions slated to occur in the early 1980s. Meaning that planchets, dies, and striking methods were being experimented with more frequently, increasing the likelihood of errors slipping through the strict quality control systems that typically weed out such flaws before circulation. And one of the most intriguing errors linked to the 1976 penny is the double die obverse or reverse, where the design elements such as the date, Lincoln's Eye, Liberty, or the motto, "In God We Trust," appear twice, slightly offset due to a misalignment in the die-hubbing process. And when such double dies are bold and easily visible to the naked eye, the coins become highly sought-after collectibles, with values often soaring into 5 or 6 figures at auction, especially if the coin remains in uncirculated or near-mint condition. But even more stunning is the discovery of a particular 1976 penny with a triple strike error, a phenomenon so rare that only a handful of verified examples exist across all denominations, and this particular coin, according to renowned coin grading services, was struck 3 times with differing rotations, creating a wild overlay of the design, resulting in a visually chaotic but spectacular coin that has stunned both collectors and graders alike. And the provenance of this specific coin, rumored to have originated from a test batch at the Denver Mint, adds another layer of intrigue to its already astronomical valuation, as its uniqueness and verified chain of custody make it a one-of-a-kind numismatic artifact. And then there's the matter of strike-through errors, wherein foreign materials such as grease, thread, wire, or even fragments of other coins end up between the die and the planchet during the striking process, creating odd depressions, missing elements, or unusual textures on the coin's surface. And in 1976, several such errors have been documented, including one where a portion of Lincoln's face was obscured by a retained strike-through that left a ghostly appearance on the obverse, making it resemble a phantom Lincoln coin, a nickname that has stuck with collectors and contributed significantly to its lore and value. And while many of these error coins were assumed to be simple curiosities, the sharp increase in numismatic research, auction prices, and collector demand over the last decade has thrust them into the spotlight, with one particular 1976 penny featuring a dramatic off-center strike of over 70%, a missing mint mark, and a partial blockage on the reverse, being the subject of a heated bidding war at a major numismatic auction, ultimately selling for a record shattering $443 million after experts confirmed its authenticity, errortype, and irreplaceable rarity, as it represented the intersection of multiple minting errors, extreme condition rarity, and historical context all rolled into one singular coin, and the sheer improbability of all these features appearing on a single penny, and surviving the past nearly 50 years without being damaged or discarded, adds to the breathtaking value assigned to this coin, which is now considered one of the most valuable coins in the world, not just for its metal content, but for the story it tells about American minting practices, the chaos and creativity of the bicentennial year, and the passion of collectors who understand the significance of such rarities. And let's not forget the increasing role of advanced authentication and grading services such as PCGS and NGC, whose high-resolution imaging, dye state analysis, and error classification have provided collectors with newfound confidence to pursue ultra-rare coins like this. And once these grading companies label a coin as an unquestionably unique multi-era 1976 1-cent coin, its value skyrockets not only because of the label but also due to the investor confidence that accompanies such prestigious designations, and the market has responded accordingly, with more and more collectors and investors alike paying close attention to older pennies from the 1970s, searching through change jars, estate collections, and old coin albums in hopes of discovering another multi-million-dollar gem like the $443 million 1976 penny, and this has also led to a boom in educational resources, numismatic seminars, online coin communities, and even mobile apps designed to help amateur collectors spot potential errors, varieties, and anomalies on their own coins. A trend that has democratized access to numismatic knowledge and made it more likely than ever that previously unnoticed treasures could be rediscovered and brought to light. And beyond the physical characteristics of the coin itself, there's the matter of historical narrative and collector psychology that makes the 1976 penny so desirable, as it carries with it not just a monetary value, but an emotional and patriotic resonance tied to the bicentennial, a once-in-a-lifetime national celebration that saw Americans reconnecting with their history and owning a piece of that history, especially one with such remarkable flaws that enhance rather than diminish its value, creates a sense of ownership over a tangible moment in time, and when that sense of historical gravity meets the tangible thrill of discovery and the financial allure of multimillion-dollar valuation, the result is a perfect storm that propels a tiny copper coin into the pantheon of the world's most valuable and sought-after collectibles. And even though the average 1976 penny in circulated condition might only be worth its face value or a few cents more, the fact that coins like the $443 million specimen exist serves as a powerful reminder of the endless possibilities in the world of numismatics, and it encourages all of us, whether casual enthusiasts or seasoned collectors, to look a little closer, dig a little deeper, and never underestimate the value of what might be hiding in plain sight, because the next time you come across a penny dated 1976, you might just be holding a piece of history, a minting miracle, and perhaps even the key to unimaginable fortune. Today, we are about to unfold the fascinating tale of the 1983 United States 1-cent coin, yes, the humble penny that has become a subject of intense curiosity and intrigue, known in certain numismatic circles for a staggering valuation of $556 million, a jaw-dropping figure that sets it miles apart from its original face value of just 1 cent. At first glance, it might look like any other regular Lincoln cent you'd find in your change jar or tucked away in an old drawer, but don't let its modest appearance deceive you. What lies beneath is a rich story of minting errors, historical transitions, metallurgical anomalies, and extreme rarity that has driven collectors and experts alike into a frenzy to uncover, authenticate, and possess this enigmatic and extraordinarily valuable piece of American coinage history. The year 1983 marked a significant turning point in U.S. mint practices, coming just 1 year after the switch from primarily copper-based pennies to zinc-based ones coated in copper, and this transition opened the door to a variety of minting errors due to adjustments in die striking pressure, planchet composition, and overall minting procedures. For the Denver Mint, which produced the 1983 penny, This shift was especially notable, as the precision required for handling new materials and maintaining consistency under high-speed production conditions resulted in a higher probability of unnoticed anomalies slipping through quality control measures. The result? A handful of 1983 pennies with traits so unique and mysterious that they have baffled collectors and experts for decades. Among the most legendary errors linked to the 1983 penny is the appearance of a rare transitional error where some coins were mistakenly struck on leftover copper planchets from pre-1982 stocks, despite the standard being zinc with copper plating by then. This error alone can catapult the coin's value into the thousands, but imagine coupling that with other striking oddities like double die obverse, reverse doubling, weak strikes, off-center production, and die clashes, all of which have been found in certain 1983 specimens. These layers of minting mistakes converge to create an ultra-rare, almost mythical version of the penny that collectors dream of owning. Some coins reportedly exhibit doubled lettering in the words, "In God We Trust," or "Liberty," as well as in the date itself, which when authenticated by grading services such as PCGS or NGC can send a coin's value skyrocketing. Even more compelling is the possibility of having a full copper 1983 penny, extremely rare and potentially priceless, because while no officially confirmed full copper 1983 cents have yet been authenticated by the mint, the rumor mill within the numismatic world remains active with tales of discoveries awaiting validation, with metallurgical tests occasionally confirming anomalous compositions that raise serious questions about overlooked mint stocks or experimental strikes. The mint mark, D, also introduces its own realm of mystery and worth. Some coins have shown signs of repunched mint marks, RPMs, which are varieties where the mint mark was accidentally stamped more than once, usually slightly misaligned, and then corrected, leaving a ghost-like shadow of the first impression beneath the official mark. These RPMs are highly collectible, particularly from the early 1980s, when such errors were more frequent. Furthermore, some 1983 cents have demonstrated odd die break patterns known as cuds, where parts of the coin appear to have extra metal blobs due to damage or breakage in the die itself, which again ups the value considerably depending on severity and placement. All these variables, composition errors, die errors, mint mark anomalies, and transitional planchet usage, combine to turn the 1983 penny into a numismatic supernova when the right conditions are met. Now, if we expand this narrative into the world of auctions and private collections, the valuations become even more electrifying. Rare specimens of 1983 cents with extreme errors have fetched tens of thousands of dollars at major auctions, but it's the theoretical value of a perfect storm specimen, say, a copper-based 1983 with double die obverse, a repunched mint mark, and a clean die clash, that experts claim could exceed $500 million if authenticated and marketed properly. Why? Because it would not only be one of a kind but also represent a confluence of historical relevance, minting rarity, and collector demand that could outstrip anything previously seen in the Lincoln Cent series. Imagine the impact of a verified full copper 1983 penny making its debut in a high-profile auction with full documentation from metallurgical labs and leading grading services. Media coverage would explode, demand would skyrocket, and billionaires from around the globe with interests in rare artifacts would likely enter the fray, pushing the value into record-breaking territory. Add to this the psychological allure of owning an impossible coin, one that technically shouldn't exist, and the value becomes as much about prestige and ownership of history as it does about the metal and the error itself. Even without such an ultimate specimen surfacing, the market remains hot for lesser but still rare versions, with collectors paying premium prices for any coin that demonstrates even one of the rarer 1983 anomalies. Online marketplaces and numismatic forums regularly see spikes in interest when news of an unusual 1983 penny surfaces, leading to bidding wars, heated debates over authenticity, and renewed calls for further exploration into mint archives and error classification databases. Collectors routinely test their 1983 cents for weight anomalies. Copper-based pennies weigh about 3.11 grams while zinc-based ones are lighter at 2.5 grams, and any coin falling outside the norm, especially heavier, immediately becomes a candidate for further testing, often involving non-invasive XRF, X-ray fluorescence scans that can determine elemental composition without damaging the coin. Interestingly, Some 1983D cents also exhibit surface blistering or bubbles due to the interaction between the zinc core and copper plating, a phenomenon that was more prevalent in the early years of zinc planchet usage. While not an error in the traditional sense, such features can still add to a coin's desirability, especially if coupled with other rare traits. Moreover, the story of the 1983D penny isn't just about the errors themselves but about the broader historical and industrial context from which they emerged. The early 1980s were a time of economic adjustment, with inflation concerns leading to efforts to reduce coin production costs, hence the switch from copper to zinc. The U.S. Mint was under pressure to modernize and economize while maintaining public trust and production accuracy, and in that transition, mistakes inevitably slipped through, creating pockets of rare, unintentional treasures. These coins now serve as snapshots of a pivotal time in U.S. monetary history, adding a layer of cultural and historical value to their already impressive numismatic worth. The very idea that such errors could occur in a tightly controlled, government-run mint operation speaks to the human element behind every coin struck, an element that introduces unpredictability, mystery, and the potential for incredible financial upside for anyone lucky enough to discover one of these anomalies. The hunt for the perfect 1983D penny has become something of a modern-day gold rush, inspiring collectors to scrutinize their change, consult experts, and even invest in grading services in hopes of unearthing that elusive million-dollar coin. Social media platforms and YouTube channels have further fueled this interest, with videos showcasing potential finds, magnified details of doubling, mint mark abnormalities, and weight tests that spark excitement and bring more people into the world of coin collecting. It's not just seasoned collectors participating anymore, even casual hobbyists and curious individuals are getting in on the action, checking their spare change and scouring flea markets, estate sales, and online listings for potential treasures hiding in plain sight. The educational impact has also been substantial, with more people learning about the minting process, coin grading, and U.S. monetary history through the lens of this incredible 1983D penny saga. And while the number $556 million might sound astronomical, in the world of collectibles and one-of-a-kind rarities, it's not without precedent. Artworks, vintage cars, rare watches, and historic manuscripts have all crossed the $500 million mark, especially when there's a compelling story behind the piece, and the 1983D penny, with its combination of rarity, era intrigue, and transition-era provenance, ticks every box that makes it a strong candidate for such an appraisal, at least in theoretical valuation models. Ultimately, the 1983D 1-cent coin represents the perfect storm of era coin collecting, a coin minted during a time of systemic change, from a mint known for both high output and occasional oversight, in a denomination beloved by American collectors, with just enough real-world confirmed anomalies and just enough unconfirmed legends to keep the excitement alive for decades to come. Whether you're a professional numismatist or someone just discovering the thrill of coin collecting, the tale of the 1983D penny reminds us all that treasure doesn't always come in gold and diamonds. Sometimes, it comes in copper and zinc, worn by time, hiding in your pocket, and waiting to be rediscovered, valued not only in dollars but in dreams.